Hi there. If you're a small business owner, nonprofit leader, a researcher, or even a student, you're probably wondering, what type of grants can I get from the federal government? So in this video, I'm going to break down 6 main types of federal grants. I'm going to give you some examples of funded projects and share with you where to find them and how to apply. Grants from the U.S. government provide funding across many different sectors. Some of these include education, scientific research, business development, social services, and the arts. Grants are different than loans because they don't have to be repaid, so they're highly sought after by many organizations and individuals. So the first type of grant we'll discuss are called project grants, and these are competitive and support very specific projects, such as research and development or pilot programs. And they're for researchers, universities, startups, and can be for nonprofits. And they specifically fund science, technology, or health. An example is an R01 grant from the National Institutes of Health. They'll fund studies such as Johns Hopkins studying anxiety circuits in the brain. These grants are often mission-driven, and you'll need a strong, very targeted proposal to win one of these. The next type of grant is called a formula grant, and these are not competitive. They're distributed based upon formulas dictated by Congress or other government bodies, and they're based on population size, poverty rate, or need. And these are typically given to state or local governments, but they can also be provided to like schools or other types of public agencies. And an example of this is Title I funding, which provides billions of dollars to schools in low-income areas. In 2023, Texas alone received $1.7 billion in Title I funding. So block grants are flexible funding pools, and these are given to state or local governments for purposes such as health, housing, or community development. And these are for governments, but they can also be for nonprofits that are partnered with government agencies. An example of this type of grant is a substance abuse prevention block grant. For example, Pennsylvania in 2023 received $60 million to fight addiction. And another example is a maternal and child health block grant, which supports prenatal care and children's health care programs all over the nation. A fourth type of grant is called an entitlement grant, and these are automatic for those who qualify. So there's no competition, you just have to meet the criteria. So these are typically for individuals, schools, or service providers that work with certain populations. And examples are Pell Grant. If you're a low-income undergraduate student, you could qualify for up to $7,395 for college. And a second example are the Head Start grants, which fund a preschool for families living in poverty. So those type of grants are, you qualify for them, you'll receive them, funding type programs. Discretionary grants are competitive and awarded at the agency's discretion, and they're based upon alignment with federal priorities. So these can be for local governments, academic institutions, small businesses, and nonprofit institutions. An example is the Department of Justice awarded about $1.2 million to fund youth crime prevention initiatives. And another example is the NEA, which gave $10,000 to an Arizona nonprofit to support Native American arts. So there's all types of grants that fall in that category. And then another category are called Cooperative Agreements. And these are like grants, but they usually have more government involvement. And often, depending on the grant, they might require a contribution from the company as well, and then there's a government match. So these are for universities, research centers, companies, and nonprofits that are usually developing technologies that are in the public's interest. So an example is the CDC funds emergency preparedness partnerships in every U.S. state. And then also, for example, NASA might partner with a university to study different systems, like robotic systems, to help them with their missions that they're working. So where do I find these grants? So the best website to find all of these types of grants are grants.gov, which is the main federal database for all grants. Other sources include sbir.gov if you're a small business or startup. Those usually have technology or medically focused grants. They also have environmentally focused, anything that has to do with science or technology. That's a good website for that. And then there's also sam.gov, which offers contracts, grants, opportunities, and then also it allows you to register your entity so you can apply for those grants. So you can also visit specific agencies and do grant searches within those agencies. So there's sites like nih.gov, nsf.gov, or sba.gov. Those specialize in medical technologies, science technologies, or grants for businesses. So depending on what type of grant you're looking for, you might want to go to that specific federal agency's website, and then you can search grant listings on that website. So we covered our 6 major types of federal grants and examples of how they're used and where you can go to get started on searching for those. If you're ready to explore grants for your business or other type of organization, start with grants.gov, do your registration on sam.gov, and considering working with a grant consultant to improve your chances. So if you like this video, please subscribe or share it, and comment with any future suggestions for videos, and I'll break it down in a future video. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your funding.